time?
7:29. Good evening, everybody, and welcome to an episode of Gone Fishing.
I'm fishing.
I'm Ray. This is Mike, and tonight we're going to talk the winter blues. It's cold fishing right now. Can't go out and fish unless we're going to go ice fishing. And I think we had somebody one time comment and said that you can't ice fish in Delaware. Every damn thing is frozen in Delaware right now. We can walk across the ponds now and we can go fishing. So that's what we're talking about tonight. We're going to talk about the winter blues and stuff that we got going on and what we want to do and stuff like that, and add to our goals for the year. You know, we keep doing it. Like I almost bought an ice fishing pole the one day at Cabela's, and I'm like, if I buy this damn thing,
It's gonna melt. Everything's gonna melt.
yeah, you're not gonna get it. But you know what's funny? It's like the people who buy a snowball and then it never snows.
I have a snowblower. I don't use it anymore.
Yeah, I have a shovel. I shovel the driveway.
Like so.
But
But
driveway pretty good.
yeah,
That's a bad shovel.
you need to widen out.
Well, I did it real quick because the day I did it, it was so cold out, and I was just and it was all ice.
And you got no meat on your bones.
Oh no, I was warm. I mean, I was good. It was just I just couldn't get ice to it, so I put the salt down. And I was just like I souped it up and
Oh, you did it. You did it Monday.
yeah.
I see. It was out there Sunday.
I did my driveway during halftime the first time, and then
And then it started snowing hard.
and then I did it again like 10 o'clock
Yep.
at night. So my driveway was done. I put salt down, did it, and then I just did a little bit of the sidewalk. I was ready to go inside. I had enough, and then I tried to mess with it on Monday, like you say. So, but the winter blues are real.
They are. They
They-
are absolutely real. Because I'm missing my psychologist. My psychologist is being out there.
Yeah.
And
And the therapy's on the water.
therapy's on the water.
It's fun. I kind of actually showed my wife something tonight on Facebook. I was just browsing and reading some of the fishing stuff and everything. And
Oh,
one of the comments was like I don't need therapy. I just go fishing and I don't have to, or no, fishing is my therapy and I don't have to talk.
Well, my last post to anyone on TikTok and actually Facebook too was just it was it's not called act fishing. I mean it's I forget.
It's called wishing. It is called fishing. Wishing.
So it was just any fish. It was just scenes, and that's kind of because I'm missing my church. My church.
Yeah, I hear you, man.
That's where I can. So, so now, listen, and I can't even think about going on. There is, I mean, the only water we can go on is stand on the ice. And I know, like a lot of my friends that are up north, they go ice fishing. They're set up for it. We don't. It's not worth the money to set up.
Can we set huts up out right now or no? You don't think so?
We could, but
It's safe. You think it's safe? I always wanted to just go drive across the lake and set up and
I would.
sit in my truck with the heat on and sit there with my line
No, but
like this.
you get one of those little tents with or a shack like
Put your TV hockey on.
where you get dartboard out.
Dartboard there, wait for the bait. Yeah. Oh man,
That's what
what's up, Scott? What's going on, man? Hope you got that dartboard set up.
We got people coming. Oh, what's up? All these people. I can't.
Read it. Take sunglasses off so you can see.
I can't.
Oh, it's just bright out.
The problem is I can't see with my glasses on,
And you can't read because it's
and it's sideways.
Yeah,
So,
it's kind
but all these people that are coming, I appreciate you, and I'm gonna try to read a little bit. But anyway, so this winter blues is so real for us fishermen because we rely on the water. to set us straight for the week, whether it be work, family, kids, wife, whatever. We need it to like reset. It's like a reset button.
Yep.
Honestly, to get out there, to just I don't care if you're kidding, but like when
Just
if
be
you
out.
but it's also being at like so when you and I go out fishing, we land, we meet up there, we land, we fish
We
for a little
launch.
bit,
We don't land. We launch.
we launch, then we go out, and then sometimes we separate, and then we get back, and then
Have a
separate
beer.
and back, and
We always have beers.
always have beers.
Always take care of the buddy, man. When you go fishing, if
When
one
you,
guy forgets the beer, you got to make sure the other
and then
guy
you
got
get
the
the
beer.
woohoo, and you got your fish, and even if we're apart, there's still a connection between friends, and you go with. Sometimes it's just you and me. Sometimes uh, Craig comes with us, and or Rodney, or whatever, or we just meet up with people, and it's also the social event of just connecting with like-minded people,
Yeah.
and we're not getting that now. Our connection with is immediate, and that's not even that's
Yeah. I
bullshit.
mean, like last week we had a couple visitors and everything, and it's but we don't get to see these guys now. We miss out on that little blip and everything. But
What are you guys doing for real? Like, what are you all doing to deal with these winter blues? These are
I sit in my bedroom right now. I say, please God, have a free warm up 2 weeks, 75 degrees. No way. It would literally get me through like the last 3, 4 weeks.
your ass is going to Costa Rica soon.
Yeah, well, I'm going to Costa Rica the end of February, so I'm gonna be good. It'll be 85 degrees. Come back with a tan. Get out on the water while I'm down there. Hit my captain up. Try to do a fishing trip while I'm down there one time.
And for me, I charge a lot in the summer because I'm a teacher. I'm off in the summer.
Well,
So,
you got that
but for real, this time of year,
sucks. Brutal.
it's brutal.
It is brutal right now because we're limited. We're like really we are totally limited in.
I drive by the ponds every day on the way to work, and I look longingly at it. I'm like,
You go over. Do you go over top of Beck's?
yep,
And it's frozen.
frozen solid. Like,
You see me out there with some holes in the middle or anything?
no, but what I do, so when it's not frozen, every pass that I go out there, I'm looking. That looks like it jumped. Oh, I see a squirrel.
Fish.
Like even like if I'm not fishing, on my way to work, that's a little inspiration. Now it's just dead ice
Yeah.
with a bunch of birds sitting on it,
Yeah.
and the birds are sitting there looking all depressed because they don't got nothing to swim in. They're all, actually, one thing I've noticed, there's a lot of there's a whole bunch all pointing in one direction, and one standing in front. And I think they're plotting.
Plotting to take over the geese.
Yeah, or the
No, there's
pigeon
no pigeons out there.
swan, but there is
Swallows. Oh, no, there's swan. Oh, the swan. Yeah, the swan's coming. Yeah. I don't think it's
last time I was up at night,
Yeah.
there must have been probably 75 swans
Yeah,
with like 1,000 geese.
me and the wife went by the one day. I took some cameras and you get pictures, but they were halfway. They were on the completely on the other side, so I just used binoculars and looked down. Look at that swan. See, I look at
I
swan.
think I think they get bored.
Yeah. The water's real shallow. Kind of weird. They don't halfway out on the swan. The quick explains they must be in some real shallow water.
Oh,
Or they were only up halfway up on, so I think they really a lot of water.
they did. There's the only part that's actually deep is that middle section.
Well, they was only coming halfway up on the swan.
The water?
Yeah, the water was only halfway up.
That is true.
It's a joke, man. That's it. It's always halfway on up on them. I'll tell you how shallow the water is because it's only flowing halfway up on it.
I thought you were talking about their leg. Jesus Christ.
Ah, that's great. That's
That
great.
one went.
But well, it's okay, man. You teacher thought with your exams today, so you had to sit there bored all day long. You know what you should have done? You
Fished?
should have just put your hat down, put your sunglasses on while you're in class. Everybody, take your test. Crashed out for it and dreamed about catching big fish.
Yeah, they would love it because
Then they go all cheat.
and I have a thing. You don't cheat in my class. You fail the exam, I'm gonna help you out. We're gonna boost your grade up. You cheat in my class, you fail.
Yeah.
I'd rather have a cheat.
Yeah.
I'll take. I can work with fail.
So my
There's
senior
always
year,
second chance.
so my senior year in high school, I switched schools, and when I went to this other school, I had to go. I only needed senior English to graduate. So the term paper, 50% of our grade for the.
Can't speak English.
No, I can speak English. No, I had no problem with English. So I used my. So I went to private school. I used my freshman year term paper for my senior year at public school, fixed all the corrections on it, retyped it up, turned it in a week and a half early, and I got 105 on it. Teacher comes up to me and says, "You're exempt. You don't have to take finals." So I didn't need English. But all the rest of my grades, because I had A's and I really liked English, I finished out with A's, even though I didn't need any in classes. I had chemistry. I wouldn't pay attention. I hung out with a guy. The one day we were doing a smoke experiment, and we're sitting in the back of the room smoking a cigarette. And the teachers are, "Man, your guys' smoke smells like a cigarette." We're all sitting. My buddy's holding a cigarette underneath the desk. Like, "Yeah, we don't know what's going on with it." And she walks away. She was an old lady. We just
Matt, you hear that?
so we had 11 kids in our chemistry class. So we had this one kid who sat all the way up front, and she would give out a test every Friday. It was multiple choice. He would start at one. It was A, B, C, D. And he would just sit there and go like this. Start at 1 minute A. Just watch him. B. And he would give you all the answers all the way down. We'd all turn in. Teachers just like always go, "You guys all did good, but you guys all got the same one wrong. So we're going to work on this part of it again." We all had the same answers. She never caught on at the end. Final
You
exam,
know.
final exam came, and I didn't show up. I took a 0 on the final exam. I still ended up with a 85 average in chemistry.
So you got to understand something that sometimes that teachers. It's not that we don't know, that we don't care. At one point, because
Well, this lady's name was Doc Williams. She was the nicest lady in the world.
Doc, you out there?
She was the nicest lady in the world, very nice, but she just no help at all. She was just brutal.
So
But
I'm gonna change.
yeah, we got to change sides. Go back to the winter blues, man.
I gotta talk about one thing if you don't mind. Like one thing I've been on on my social media account noticed a whole lot of creators out there. I don't mean content creators. I mean lookers, whether they be soft plastics, tank baits, deep water, but all these people that are I'm loving all this work that you guys have put in. And honestly, part of it, Brian, is I'd love to connect with them a little bit, just to, yeah, that's better. I mean, because these guys are putting out amazing stuff. I mean, just you probably could see, but my wife had craft fair at school. One of my Christmas presents was this Whopper thing. All she did was ask, it's hide spades, and all she did is ask what might work good. And it's just a Whopper Plopper, but it's hand painted, and it's like we have friends like Knox and Scott and Bates, really great Bates. Like, here's their winter blue. You know what I
Well,
mean?
they can be making baits. I mean, they have that
Why do
option. So
we don't make baits?
we don't make baits. We sit here and do show and plan a show.
Yeah, but we need to incorporate like that a little bit, and like start talking some of their baits, or they. We need to get them. I don't know, but
Maybe
the,
get John on if he's got some new products coming out or something.
I know he's got new.
Yeah, I mean, it's invites his names and got to want to come on now, but I did a lot last week. He was just behind the
But,
scenes.
but but even at that, if you want to be behind the scenes, but on TikTok and so let me go to TikTok. TikTok was the ultimate reset. It made every IT person in the world happy because it basically cut down. Okay, have you tried turning your computer off? Okay, turn it off for seconds. Plug it, unplug back in. Does it work? It's the first thing I tell you, right?
Yeah,
That's what TikTok did. They just said, we're going to unplug for a day or not even a day, and we're going to plug it back in and see if it works again.
yeah, it works.
And it worked. So, but one thing I noticed, and I'm pretty new, we're pretty new to TikTok, is like when you go live, you can open up channels for people that like you'll see a plus thing and people can request to jump on and talk. So if we wanted to do soft plastics, we could open that up and like we can get like John on from his shop. Like a lot of guys do them while they're working.
Yeah, yeah.
But
That's cool. I don't know too much about TikTok.
I'm
I'm new to
I'm
it.
I'm learning.
Yeah,
But like we can see them curing their winter in the shop doing injection molds. We can see like I see people that are
see the process of it.
the process is really cool.
Yeah.
We, as fishermen that don't do it, take for granted like what goes into making these baits.
Well, these guys are going to freaking Cabela's and they're already buying the bag. They say, "Oh, look, I like this color." They don't see what goes into, like you said, yeah, the making of that lure. Or that plastic.
Um, follow our TikTok, and I had to look back on my friends in youth that all he does is sell lure components. That's his
Mm,
bread and butter. So all these guys can buy anything from spoons, hooks, big heads, feeds, um, paint, all this stuff from him, which I was like, oh shit, that makes sense. There's a real market for this because
mm-hmm.
it's stuff that I never really like through this um, TikTok endeavor and social media endeavor. I'm learning a lot about like what goes into the behind the scenes of what we do.
Yep.
We go out there, we use it, but there's people that make custom rods. There's people that modify reels. There's people that fix reels. And think like now that we're into the winter months, I would love to like dive a little more into that. And I'm just
I
touching on
really hate to tell you, anybody out there listening or listening later or whenever, if you have a guy who does reels, please send his number to me. I have 5 reels I need to get fixed, but I need to talk to the repair guy because I have a reel that it got all messed up. I did something to it, and then I tried to fix it, took it apart, and
Ray had this fish on that was so cute.
oh, I wish it was a fish. It did it to me. It just started messing up. But what messed up was a spring shot out of the reel, and then all these bearings fell out. And now I'm
What
like
kind of reel?
a luge reel, and I really love the reel. I actually had Sarge just fix it, and when I got it, it started doing
You
the
hear
same.
that?
So anybody who has a real person who can fix a reel, that would be a great. If you pass their name on to me, as long as they're local to Delaware, I'll go Delaware, Pennsylvania, depending where it's at.
Maryland,
Maryland, yeah,
depending
depending
where
where
it's
it's
at.
at too.
Jersey,
But
depending where it's at.
but yeah, no, I would. Oh, it'd be greatly appreciated because it's I really need to get some of these reels fixed. If not, they're all going in the trash.
I'm pulling.
I already got all brand new reels anyway. I got a reel for everything, but I like to keep a spare reel with me at all times. God forbid one of them gets the bed on you. At least have another reel you can tie right back on. Got a reel, boom, done. You're ready to go.
80 riddles.
I don't need that bad.
I know, but if you ever had a problem with
Yeah, I got you. But I mean, I'm just like, but I like to get a lube reel. I'm a big fan of lube reels. I like lube reels. One of my go-tos. Um, to be ugly stick hot guy. I got a couple ugly sticks now. I got me.
you need to put something on that 6 kilo that
I did. It's all set up.
What'd you put on it?
The DC.
Oh hell yeah!
If I'm doing it right, that's gonna be my big expensive rod and reel setup.
That's a nice. That's what I use. The DC on that.
That's what I have. I put the DC on it.
That's a nice. That is a huge kayak
So
setup.
pretty. It's either that or I have my lube 8 cast on. I think I have the DC on it.
Either way, it's it's a good setup.
Oh yeah.
The halfling is just a nice because even if you have a life vest on, which most of the time we're fishing, we're not wearing
Yeah.
vests. We have them with.
fishing for the water, so if I fall in, I'm just gonna stand
Get
up.
up.
I'm gonna sit in there and be like, hey, I'm in the laundry.
Realistically, the the only real place would be the Octorara.
Oh yeah, that's deep as shit. Yeah.
But besides that, most of the places we go in, if we go off and we start drowning, that's on us because you need to do is go. Okay, put your feet down,
Stand up. Yeah.
because most of them.
Like 3 foot. Yeah, I actually found a spot in Dragon the 1 year I had my depth finder with me. I took it all with me and just to take it out. And while I had it out there, I was just found a spot that was 6 foot 5 inches.
Where is that? Because I always have the.
So you know when you go, you launch. First of all, right there by the thing, it's deep. It's like 8 foot right there when we launch. Right by the dam area where the water comes in. That's
Not anymore, because I could drop my power pole and connect.
like I'm saying, right by the dam area.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I haven't went up, but like 5 feet or 10 feet in.
Oh no, I'm talking real close. It's real deep.
Oh, fuck, I ain't going there.
But once you go out and you get out there, so you know when you go out to Dragon Run and you head out, as you're heading to the backwater, so you've already passed a couple little.
There's a cove on the right.
Yeah, you go past all that, keep going, go to the last cove on the left, and then it goes up into that little narrow area, then it opens back up in that back area. Going through that little area was 6.5 the one time I went through it.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it's deep through that. Only place it's deep. All the rest of it, it's like you said, 3.5, 4, 2,
Top. Who?
2. Yeah, if you get closer to the edges, 6 inches.
The main reason I actually have my finder on there is because so I know when to pull up the motor.
Yeah.
It'll go from 4 foot to.
Well, I got a question about that. Now, does yours, when you're running that, and say, so sometimes we fish and we're in duckweed. Does that mess up your depth finder?
Definitely top water does.
No, the top one, it's just, it's already underneath the
So
duckweed.
I run a.
So if I'm saying like, what I'm trying to say is, say you're going over an area and it's just real weedy underneath. You know how like we fish someplace and you'd see the weeds instead of the weed beds. Does it still go all the way to the ground, or does it hit you on the weeds?
As long as it's.
You know
So
what I'm asking, right?
my transducer's mounted under my kayak. So as long as.
By the motor.
Yep, it's front of the motor.
Yep.
So as long as it's clear, obviously if there's something blocking it,
You'll
then
see a little.
so here's how it works. The transducer's right in front of the motor. I can get depth most of the time until I have to pull up the motor, and then I could see on both the side mounts and the down mount looks like a forest as it gets tighter and tighter. Um, so it doesn't, it's doing me honestly. But the depth is my main thing because once I pull up the motor, I don't really need the fish finder anymore.
Well, yeah, because you're gonna
I
get through whatever.
so I'm running Humminbird G4 Helix 7 and works great for a kayak. It's not a 9, so I don't have black scope, but don't really with fish. Um,
Sometimes you see this shit real clear.
it's fish.
Yeah.
And when I'm out in the bay, I can actually, honestly, for what I need, because you guys, I crab too, and I need to know the depth, and I want to see what the bottom looks like. If I run a 1,200-foot trout line, and if I'm dropping that, I don't need a whole bunch of debris down there. So I will run the course. If it's a new course, I will run and look at the bottom, and then come back and drop my trout line. So yeah, it's super functional. And when we go to the Octorara, I can see, except for the one day when it was so murky,
Oh, yeah.
there was so much debris floating in between that I couldn't make out any.
That was some high water there. That's probably the highest I've seen that in a long time.
Oh, that was.
We go there like in summertime or some shit. That comes down pretty good. It's clear. It's
But
really,
when we were down by the dam there, and you know how the dam has that tunnel?
yeah, it's a couple little drops.
I could see all of it,
There's some big
right?
bass. And big bass sit right there. The one giant.
Oh, it went to 11.
Yeah,
They were at the 11.
yeah, that's right. Yeah, I was gonna say it's like a 6, and then there's like a little flat, and then there's a 10, and then it just drops down to like
18,
yeah, and then it just goes down to like 28.
24.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it goes deep.
they were at the 11. Just because they were there didn't mean they were
Yeah,
fighting.
it's tough, man. Well, it's funny because like when I fish there, I fish a lot of Ned rigs
Hmm.
because I'm fishing from shallow into the deep. Like I'm sitting out in the deep, and it's funny because I bought an anchor for my kayak, like a regular anchor, like, but I'm not going to use it in drag and run when it's windy. I'm going to use my stick. I'm going to use my anchor stick when I'm there. But like if I'm out in October, I have 36 foot of you know lines I can drop an anchor down to the bottom and stuff like that. And I never really do it, but I really need to start doing it there because I really get on a ledge. And it's funny because the one day I went out, I dropped back to the 18-foot drip. Like I was right where it was already coming down off the 11th. I was literally thrown in 3 foot of water in a 6 foot drop. During that drop between the 6th and the 11th, every time, bam, bass. Now, but one that was 3 pounds. A bunch of them that were 12 inches. You know what I mean? It wasn't your mush. They were right there. They were hitting that big squeeze, back worm, or
See,
blue
this is
flake.
this is where I need to work on my Ned rig game, one and two. So
I like that. Well, hold on. I like to throw a Senko. No weight.
mhm.
Right through the middle. Toss it out there. Again, black, blue flake, purple flake, whatever. Throw it out there. And I do the same thing. 3 foot, let it come. But have to let it sit a little longer because there's no weight on it. But the Senko does drop pretty quickly. But when I get to that 6 to 11 foot, that's when I usually catch my bigger ones that are on the Senkos. I don't really catch a lot of big ones on it. The Neds I always take.
Even on the because as it's dropping,
There's little rocks around and they come out smoking.
about the Octo this year that I need work. Well, when we first I just got my old town, and I really didn't fish the Octorara much on my old town. And my ascend, I'm 290 pound, 6'1", and I don't stand up on the ascend unless I have
I wouldn't stand on
to. But I learned that I can easily stand up on the old town.
Yeah.
And but we didn't fish the Octorara later in the season. We fished it in the beginning when I'm still getting used to the old town. So the spot lock I need the anchor that you're not guaranteed. It doesn't hold your position. It just hold your place.
Right.
So if you're sitting and the current's bringing you around this way and that way, you might not be where you want to cast. So you're trying to, but when you stand up, that doesn't matter.
Like you never
Yeah. But I wasn't there yet with that kayak. I hadn't learned that with that kayak. But now that I've had the experience with that kayak, I can stand up on that.
I probably when I fish in my kayak, I probably stand probably 80% of the
You
time.
do. And I
And I
stand,
sit there when I need to move, I just roll the pedals with my hand. I go a little bit and then I steer where I want to go, keep fishing. I don't I stand most of the time when I
and honestly, the spotlock's great, except scare the shit out of me because it'll turn and it'll put up a swirl. I'm like, oh, fish. Because all of a sudden I see, because the water turn, all of a sudden will turn on and it's parallel. So I'll get a swirl on my right, casting right there.
we're not in there.
No, it's nothing. It's just the motor. No, but the spotlock's great. But I haven't. Last year was my first year with the autopilot, and by the end of the season, I was getting starting to get the full use of it. But it took me a while to trust everything. That, especially coming off of, I mean,
Ascend.
the ascent is not comfortable. Very functional, but I'm sitting with my legs straight out in front of me. At times, I'm lifting, my back hurts. Meanwhile, on a old town, I'm in a beach chair.
What I like about the time is you can recline the seat.
You can recline the seat,
Like
but
I have
you're,
mine, like sometimes I have it sitting straight up. It depends how I feel. Like you said, if you're back, if you've been sitting all day and shit, you've been out in the water for 8 hours. Yeah, you're trying to get comfortable, but man, there's days I go out there and it's hot as hell, and I'm just like, man, I'm just gonna sit out here and relax for a half hour. And I just kick that thing back, man, adjust the little straps. I sit out there, kick my
oh
feet
yeah.
up, and just chill out and just float.
Well, I don't get as bad of a sun. Remember the day we went out? It was on this, like straight out in front of me. All right. Like you probably could have seen them in
They
the
were
dark.
like they were the back of our fish
Oh,
right there.
God.
They were definitely red, man. That was
Because
funny as hell.
I was used to being in. I fished a lot. I was holding crawdads. My legs are under me. Oh my God, my legs got so burned that we went to Applebee's. We went to Applebee's. Then we're like, oh, we'll have some beers and we'll hit another pond. We went and
Stopped at the liquor store. Don't forget we stopped at the liquor store and grabbed more beer too.
beers.
After had 3 or 4 beers.
That beers were the only thing that were keeping me going. My legs hurt so. They were so. My legs were so on fire. On the old town, my legs are much more under me. The other thing, I could pee. I know that sounds bad, but on the ascent, if I had to take a leak,
Hard.
it was like
Yeah.
because first of all, you're sitting so long, your legs are
Well, you
kind
can
of.
pee on your legs to cool them down.
What you would have done?
Yeah.
Okay.
I would have stood up on mine because mine I can stand up on. So I
But
stand
no,
up. Right.
on the ascent for real. Like when you're sitting that long, and your legs are asleep and your ass is asleep, and you gotta pee. You're like, man, one of them scupper holes. Okay.
try to hit it.
Yep. Best you
You
can.
feel like you're 3 years old. Cheerio, are you looking good? Yes.
Most of it gets in there.
Oh,
Because uh, you're sitting for 3 hours. Your ass is half asleep. Your legs are tired. And you're sunburned as hell. There's no way you're standing up.
nah.
So you just aim the
Yeah.
best you can. Because tell y'all, we ain't giving up fishing, right? Just just for a minor thing that we gotta take a leak. You adapt and overcome.
Yeah. So,
And
so I got a little story for you. Back on fishing. So, the other night I went and did an estimate. And you know how we go out. Like when we're fishing, we can talk to people. When I'm doing estimates, doing wood flooring and stuff, I sit there and you talk to your customer. You got to get to know them. You got to see if you want to work with the customer or you don't want to work with them. I mean, I do. They think they're interviewing me. I'm actually interviewing you to see if I really want to work with you or not. So the couple's house I was at, um, sitting there and I was talking. How we got onto the fishing subject, I have no idea. But the guy tells me he's buying a fishing thing in Alaska. Alaska Trophy Fishing Safaris. The guy's name is Doug. That's the card I'm going to try to get as close as I can, see if it'll focus on it. But if you want the guy's number and you're going to Alaska, King Salmon, it's actually got a website, which is www.alaskatrophyfishingsafaris.com. Check it out. There's some advanced videos on there.
so you
Big
got
ass. It's cool. I checked it out only for a short time last night. I ended up dozing off. It was late at night. I was like, man, I wanted to check it out, and I finally did. But
y'all need to take care of Doug then.
yeah, Doug, we're gonna try to get Doug out here. But TikTok, you're more of the people because you guys are more widespread. Where the people on our YouTube and our Facebook, they're more local people. But anybody going to Alaska wants to go out for some king salmon, I got a guy for you to talk to set you up with a trip. Um, and he actually told me he has some openings at the beginning of this July. So if anybody's got the money and can go, hit me up. I'll give you the guy's number and everything, and maybe you can set something up with him and do something. I mean, like me, for example, I go to Costa Rica just with a guy Armando. The guy just turned 30 years old. The other day was his birthday. He turned 30. 30. I've
So
been fishing with this guy for 10 years.
why don't you get Armando up here?
Armando won't come up to the States, man. I go down
Why don't
there.
we get him on?
I can maybe talk to him and try to get him to come on to the show from down there. Um, but great guy, very affordable rates to go out fishing with him. So if you're ever in Costa Rica, you're in the Guanacaste Costa area. It's the west side of Costa Rica. Um, Fantastic guy to go out with, catch fish when you're out with him. Um, but again, really good guy. Uh, he'll put you on some fish. Last time I went out with him, we didn't really have a good time, but
I'm listening. I gotta grab some.
it was also raining its balls off, and it was freaking crazy out there. I mean, we had torrential downpours, and but yeah, but so that's one thing too. So anybody when you're looking for guides or anything like that, like last week we had
Well, you had your muskie guide.
yep, my muskie guide. He was really good. His name was Sam. He was another young guy, man. It's crazy to see how young some of these guys are that are doing it. And it's funny because at the same time I'm jealous because they're doing what I wish I could do.
Well,
And you know what I mean? They're out there doing the good stuff that I always wanted to do. Guy trips, tough market, but the guy Sam who does the Muskie Blue Ridge Muskie, um, really good guide service. They catch a lot of good fish down there and everything. Um, that's a good thing. But guides are always good. So we had Whit here last week. He's a friend. I've known him since seventh grade, and he came out to see the show. Not really a fisherman, but wanted to get into fishing. He has a buddy in West Virginia that wants to come. They never caught a striped bass. So I was going through business cards the other day, and I found The last time I went out with this one guy, I found his information, so I'm going to reach out to him tomorrow and talk to him, and then try to set some dates up with Wit. I want to do it. It's a little bit warmer because when the guy comes from West Virginia, he does want to go out for some snakeheads too. So make it a double dose that day, or
Hmm.
2 days. Go out one day striper fishing, bring home some striper, some rockfish, have for a good dinner. Go out the next day, get some snakehead, have some more good dinner. So anyway, that's just pretty much what it is. It's kind of one of them things, but yeah.
I'm
So
actually was just looking on, and I apologize because I'm looking at a tablet because I'm I wanted to get our live show on there because there's a lot of people that we deal with that, like Ray said, like his customers, friends that do these, whether it be touring, whether it be do lures or whatever. But actually, one I was thinking of was something, and we're talking about winter blues. How our wives
you know,
do.
I'll be honest with you, and I don't know how to explain this. Um, it's good that we spend time with our wives
Yeah.
because when summer comes, I'm out fishing 3, 4 times a week. Now,
Hmm.
I don't like to fish like that. I mean, I do like to fish like that, but like when I say I'm out 3 to 4 times during the week, it's not like I'm coming home from work at 3:30 and I'm going to 10 o'clock. It's not that. I usually do one night trip where I'll go out and I'll get out on the water like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, go to Jersey, Maryland, Delaware, somewhere. But I'll get on the water at 3 o'clock and I'll fish till dark. Some days I get up and I'll go fishing it because it lights up at 5 a.m. on the water at 5 a.m. and I'll fish till like 8:30. Let rush hour die down. Have my kayak loaded
Get
up
back
three and
in.
a half hours. Boom, like I can go to drag and run. I can fish drag and run in 3 hours. Run up one edge fishing, come down the other. If I don't catch shit, or if you catch a couple, woohoo, you caught a couple, get out, load your boat up and leave. The problem with that is you have that one freaking day where you're catching every cast, you're getting a hit, bam, and you just can't leave. That's where it's good that I have an employee that works with me. Because that benefits me. They say, yo, man, go to my house, grab the van, get to work. I'll meet you at the job. I'll load my kayak up, take the truck, go to the job. But when I say I'm out 3 to 4 times, we most summer times too. 2 summers ago, I took every Friday off after 4th of July, and I went fishing for the day. Got up, fished first light, fished till 1 or 2 o'clock. I'm home by 3 o'clock in the afternoon before rush hour kicks up because us living in Delaware, we're near the beaches. Every freaking artery gets freaking jammed up with all the people going to the beach and stuff like that. So I don't want to do that. But still, it's the fact that I'm out on the water 3 to 4 times a week fishing.
Yep.
You know, and it's our wives deal with us. But in the wintertime, they should want us to frick out of the house.
Yeah.
I mean,
So
there has to be a time where my wife just has to look at me and say, "Go fishing." Now, my I have goals. I was telling you I want to talk some goals tonight. Do our winter blues. This is one of my biggest goals for 2025. I'm going to get my wife to catch a snakehead.
okay,
Taking her out.
we need to get him to get the snake
We're
in.
going to get Matt to catch one. These are people. One of our producers here tonight. He goes out fishing, but he's just going to come out with Ray, and Ray's going to take just Matt out, and we're going to go out one day. And if I catch him a fish,
Predator.
he's going to sit there and come home and tell us that I'm
Predator.
going out with Ray every time. Ray's on the fish. But no, I mean, we want to get Matt on some fish. But I really want to get my wife out. The first one I'll probably hook for, let her reel it in. I'm going to have to take them off. She's not going to take them off. Once I have the lip grippers in her, she will hold up and take a picture with it. But I want to catch a couple for her, let her feel them, and then I want her to fish for them and catch them. So I'm going to make my wife buy a fishing license this year and do some fishing because believe very good on time. It's he fit with me for a lot of years, for 2 years now. How calm am I when I'm out fishing?
I don't know.
I'm just like you just kind of like
No, you're kind of no, I'm kidding.
I'm kind of I'm chill. Like we're chill out there.
Yeah, because there's nothing bothering us out
Yeah,
there.
we're out there. We're fishing.
Oh, you're an asshole.
Well,
But
yeah, well, I try to be every now and then. I'm trying to be. It's me, you know. So, but yeah, but no,
no, I'm kidding, by the way.
no, but it is one of them
No, but
things.
for real, like what I'm talking about, like on this off season, I tend to buy lures, and tend to buy like I bought kayak racks because I need to my kayaks set up so we have more room. And my wife is reluctantly understanding that this is my connection still with fishing, that I still replenish my lure supply. I but I'm not on the water, so I'm doing things
To prepare
to prepare.
for this year.
But
Because you never
if I
know.
didn't have an understanding wife that knew that, that would be a real problem
Oh yeah.
because real realistically, and you all know this. I'm talking to everyone out there, whether it be male or female. Your spouse is not a fisherman or fisherwoman. I'm just gonna say they don't get it. They don't get we need to connect with our passion,
Nature. Nature.
but our passion.
Yeah.
So whether it be sharpening your hooks or buying stuff that you need for the year, it's more of a it's not because we're not out fishing. We need that connection to our passion. You know what I'm saying, man?
Yeah.
Like it, 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 it's more than just buying something. It, it's just we need to keep this going.
Well, you know what I do now. Like so, like you were saying. So I've already organized my whole tackle box. I've already ripped it all apart, re-put all the stuff back in where its regular slots are. Because halfway through, not even halfway through the season, 2 months into the season, that shit's everywhere.
Everywhere.
It's everywhere. You're just throwing it in different boxes. I always do set up boxes. I have snakehead boxes for early season.
Yep.
So, like my underspins, for example, spinner baits. I have a box over there right now that's totally packed to go snakehead fishing. I can grab that one box. I got spinner baits, I got a couple top waters, and I got some underspins. But like all the underspins I had, so I had like probably like 30 underspins. I hooked every one of them up with different paddle tails and everything. They're all in that box. So when I'm ready to go, and I'm ready. I have a sold out.
That's what we end up doing in the office. We're lining them, foiling them, cleaning them, lining them. Like
We're
that.
fishing some shit.
Yeah, we do
We
fish.
really need to clean it. I took one of my reel covers off this year. Let me tell you what, I probably have more duckweed in that reel than I have in my kayak right now.
My we stick um carbon had so much mud in it. I didn't even realize it can get like the whole rod looked muddy. I cleaned it off and then I went down to the reel and I'm like, holy shit, there is so much garbage in this. And a lot of people don't clean their reels. They just reline them.
And yeah,
But you got so much shit that builds up in
oh,
the reel.
how should I have line wrapped around one of mine? A whole bunch of. I must have rolled off
So, but this is one way we
probably
clear.
10 foot of
Like
line.
we talk about the fishing. One way to deal with the blues is to maintain everything.
Yep,
When like
this is just expensive.
and my hooks. After like I have my favorite lures. Those hooks need to be. You take a little file to them, it makes a huge difference on the hook set. Like all these little things, that you can do during the winter, that has a big impact come summertime when we're actually out on the water. Sharpen shit up, put new line on, oil shit, grease shit, make shit work again like it's brand new. You know those bales that don't flip and they get stuck? That's not because of anything, but they just need a little maintenance. You know what I'm saying?
Amazon, little tiny file, a little spot for your hook. Sharpen it up. I bought 5 of them for $8. I keep one in my crate. But sometimes you're out in the water, you know what I mean? I keep one in my fishing bag. I have one in my backpack bag, just in case. I don't do what you do though. I don't pull out my favorite lures and sharpen them like Manea, you know what I mean? I don't do it all the time. When I'm out and I miss a couple fish on there and I'm like, I know I'm setting the hook right, I know I'm doing all this shit right. Start the hook up, very next hit, fish on.
Well, you see my office. I got the thing with the magnifying glass that holds the lure for me.
Oh yeah, see that's nice. And you can just sit. Yeah, that's what I need. I need something like that.
So
But it's a light you need. Little
that
five.
has bendable thing, and there's a magnetic plate on the bottom. I'll actually send a picture, and it could hold the lures, and you could actually work on these lures under a magnifying glass for us old people that can't see shit close anymore. But this stuff
Always have the cheaters on the trip. Always have cheaters.
always have
I have a
cheaters.
set of cheaters in every bag.
We're old.
Ah,
It's it's just like you're off time. This is your time to regroup, reset, and get everything ready. And that is what keeps my passion alive. Like to dive into my lures and to rearrange, just to rearrange your boxes. Like when we first met, we used to bring everything
I
all the time.
bring everything. I bring art.
And in
And I use 3 lures.
a couple of years that we've been fishing together, we have simplified so much. Like we've realized we're going here. Realistically,
I need these lures.
I can take like I'm gonna use 3 lures and I can put on one tray box rest that I might want
So
for real.
this is how I set up. Like last year, this is how I was set up. So I'm a big fan of the Snakehead Outlaw Slayer Rat. I
Yep.
like the blood splatter, red and white. One of my go-tos. I have 4 of them. I bring 3 of them with me. Always leave one back home, just in case not that you really lose
White,
one.
white and red,
White and red, plain white,
plain white,
and fire tiger.
fire. That's where
Fire.
you. That's where you listen to me.
Yeah, I did this in the fun. The only thing is I wasn't catching a lot of snakeheads. I was catching every damn bass in the pond.
You're
But they
catching
were, yeah, right. You're catching exactly. I mean, I did catch a couple
the
snakeheads,
fire tigers.
but laid full of that's the color. The fire tiger is what I like to use in the Susquehanna from October to December, and then from when I usually don't go hit it till because a lot of the dams are run, so I won't go start hitting until March, April. But I use the fire tiger. After April, fire tiger's gone.
Yep.
I use an orange and almost crawdad colors,
Yep.
little tiny shallow crankbait. I use that 90% of the time when I'm down there. Once the heat of summer comes, spinners in the Susquehanna. Spinners and shallow crankbaits. I take a couple deep, depending on where I'm fishing in the Susquehanna. Like Octorair, when I'm there, because I'm fishing so deep, and you know this from being there, you're 3 foot from the bank and it's 12 foot of water. So I'll use a crankbait that does like a 10 to 14 foot depth, and I'll throw it up along the bank and I bring it. Do really good. Once it gets down in there, that's where I'm getting my bites. My bites are deep, especially in the late summer in there. So a deep diver crankbait. But I don't like, some of these guys throw these crankbaits are like monsters. I just throw like maybe a 3.5 inch is probably the biggest one I'll throw, maybe 4 inch.
Yep.
But
I like those small.
But I mean, they go down and they go. But it's funny because sometimes like I'll set my bait caster rod up, and I got a rod holder on my kayak. So I'll put the rod holder in there, and I'll let that thing go. I'll pedal, and I'll steer, keep the line behind me. I'll let out 50 yards of line. And it's funny because as I'm pedaling across the lake, you know this, you'll see all the bait fish.
Yep.
And I'll make it so that my line goes through that bait fish, but at 14 foot of water. I can guarantee you almost every time I go through one of them bait things, I have this one. It's a white and black, looks like a shad, deep diver. Only, I don't even think it's 3 inches. I think it's 2 3/4 inch one. The thing goes down 10 to 14 foot. Dude, every time I go underneath of one of the things, I either catch crappies, I'll catch some largemouth. And the last time I was there, caught 7 perch doing it that way. But it's just whatever's feeding underneath of them. And they're down there now.
They're down under there.
And they're underneath it. But it's funny because I'll bring my line to and you'll see them start to scatter. And as they scatter coming through, it's just like it's the end. And now it's a rod holder, so I pull out rod holder, that's the hook, and stop pedaling, and got 50 yards, maybe 60, 70 yards of line to reel in. So, and you know how big it's going to be. As soon as you start reeling, you're like, okay, this ain't that big. You can just sit there and mess around real quick, get it in, and you're done. But
No,
times, man.
I totally agree. A lot of the places that we fish in the fall and stuff, you know me, I go with the underspin a lot because
I
I,
like the underspin. Underspin's good early spring and in late fall.
yep. And the main reason I do it in some of those places, especially when we went fall, it was so shallow. Everyone was losing baits except for me. I had an underspin on a weedless setup. I could literally bounce it off the bottom, and I was not. The only time I got hooked up is if it went in crevice, and but I could literally drag it. I could feel it bouncing off the bottom.
Yeah,
And that I like.
yeah, my underspin, I caught, I think my last 16, 17 snakeheads I caught were all on underspins at the end of the year.
I got a question for you all though. Is there's a bait I'm interested in, and I haven't used yet. I think it's Berkeley, but it's a clatter claw. And that looks like a decent bait. It's got a setup so it doesn't get snagged. So it's got that nylon thing that goes around the hook, and it's got the bearings in the claws so you can drag it across the bottom. I haven't used it yet. I want to order it, but I feel like in the Susquehanna that would be a really good bait to
Yeah,
drag across the bottom. But I haven't used it yet, and I'm going, regardless of what y'all say, I'm still gonna order it because I want to see what's up with it. But I feel like that would be a good bait. Some of these rocky areas where you would have crayfish, crawdads, whatever the hell you call them. But I think that would be a good.
yeah, I
So
agree.
I'm gonna I'm gonna try that out. I'll order that. But
But yeah, so that's, but
we're
anyway,
running out of time,
yeah, we
right?
are around time. So just to go back to my boxing, so I always take a couple of the Slayer rats with me, like whenever I go. But literally, like you said, I like the Snakehead Outlaws mouse and mice. I take a couple topwater frogs, Boya Juniors. I have a couple
Megalure.
I have a couple Taylor. I have one Megalure frog.
The Megalure kicked ass in the late fall for me, I gotta say. And the tail,
The live bait ones, like the live mouse, live mice.
like, yep.
You know what I'm talking about? They're really good.
The one I caught an owl on.
Yeah, yeah. Them things. I have two of them. They're really good. But I'll throw them in, but I won't throw them too often.
Taylor, you're right.
Taylor's got some good frogs.
I like the single Colorado.
Yeah, Rodney gave me a dragon pop frog. I have a big order in tactical that I need to put through. I'm just waiting a little bit, get closer to season. I don't think he has everything in
No, he
right
doesn't.
now. So
He's out of a lot of stuff.
yeah, so I'm
But
trying
you
to
and I,
hold off.
we should actually put an order in together
Yeah,
on tactical. because there's a bunch of I want.
Yeah, I have probably like one
Salmon fishing that I want to.
but there's and everything, but my time now so small. It's funny.
And I gotta say I'm still a big fan of Venom.
Yeah. I like spinner baits too. After you miss
Snake Out Outlaws, spinnerbaits, yeah.
yeah, the Venom's a good lure too. But I mean,
But actually, what I found is that to experiment with some of these spinnerbaits, with some of the chatterbaits, and having friends in like Scott and John that make the soft plastics, and me and you and I doing a lot of underspins. I'm using their soft plastics
yeah,
on these,
yeah,
and they're phenomenal. And if they're not working, the great thing about that is if the action isn't right, we can contact them. Or if the color isn't right, like I had some that were too fat, so I felt like I was missing some because there wasn't enough on leeway on the hooks that it would
right.
come up. And we can talk to them and they
You
could help us.
customize it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So like the solution for that was like the slit in the belly, which makes the
oh,
hook. That's a big.
that's huge. That
You
is huge. That is huge.
when you from a solid bait to one that has a slit, it gives when the fish grabs it on a solid bait doesn't have as much room to come out for the set
Yep.
as if you have a slit belly. That hook, the shaft, has a lot more clearance.
Yeah.
So it could actually, it's an easier, just little things like that. You got your local guys working with you and helping you out. It's a huge thing.
Yeah. That's real huge. That is huge. But hey, we gotta get ready to get off of here. We'll be back next week. Of course, at 7:30 Eastern time.
Yep.
Remember,
Let's just do
subscribe to TikTok. Dash
TikTok.
going dot fishing without a G 97. Log on to that. Sign on to that. YouTube at fishing 302. Again, no G. It's just like that. Fishing. Um, and Facebook Live. Just find us on Facebook.
And we're on Instagram too, believe it or not. I don't
I'm not a big social media guy. I'm kind of waiting for the spring to really jump on TikTok and start screwing around with some stuff. So,
Yo, followers too. With what's going on with TikTok, uh, this past weekend was a shit show. I don't know about lemonade and all that. We need to coordinate so I don't lose you all and you don't lose me, and
come
so.
over to YouTube.
But we
Facebook.
also need. I might open up a live meeting so we can coordinate where we're going if shit hits the fan again. I don't think it will, but just so like when they shut down, I was like not expecting it to just close like, and that I was like, oh
I don't
shit.
get on it enough, so I didn't even know it closed down.
Oh,
So,
I'm just saying. Okay.
but anyway, Mike, it's the winter blues. We got going fishing on the mind. Rest of yous, we'll see you next week. Peace out, everybody. Enjoy. Be safe. Stay warm. Go Eagles. Woo!
So